Hi guys, it's Sam here from Bargain Hunting Blonde, and today I'm bringing to you part 2 of my video series about what I do or do not look for in a pre-loved bag. So today is part 2, and that is what I'm calling pre-loved deal makers. So the idea behind this is I am willing to accept these flaws or issues with a bag for the deal on the pre-loved market. So I am willing to accept these issues, but I also get a price discount. Hence why most of us shop pre-loved, just because, like, who doesn't love the savings? Like, you save and then you can get even more handbags. That's how I think about it in my mind. So without further ado, let's dive into these 5 pre-loved deal makers. So number 1 for me is I'm willing to take a discount for a storage smell. So I know some people are incredibly smell sensitive and they would never consider a bag that had any sort of smell besides like leather or canvas, but for me, I do not mind a storage smell, especially considering I like more vintage bags. So actually, this bag back here, this is a vintage caviar leather Chanel vanity case, and when I did purchase this bag, the seller did let me know that it had a bit of a storage smell, and I have found that storage smell dissipates and leaves once you allow the bag to be out and breathing. So that's why I've had this bag kind of out of a dust bag behind me on the shelf, is because it has allowed the smell to dissipate, and now the bag doesn't have any sort of offensive odor that anyone would consider. And so I think storage smell is something really easy to get rid of. I know people have also used different techniques, like such as using a dryer sheet, because that will help the smell and then it'll smell more like dryer sheet, or just like kind of letting it air out outside, obviously like not in direct sun, depending on the type of leather. But I think storage smell is something that you can really get out of a bag and does not stick into the materials like smoke smell. If you have seen my other video, you will know smoke smell is a hard no from me, but I am willing to accept storage smells. 2 is some structure loss. So I did talk about in my other video like really intense structure loss where a bag that should be standing is completely flat, but I will accept some structure loss with a bag because I think that's inevitable, especially with bags that are a softer leather. It does not bother me, especially if you can really kind of reshape it with a bag organizer. That's really easy to do, or a bag shaper. I just think that's something that's going to happen. It is not the end-all be-all for me. For some people it really is, and some people really are on the pre-loved market looking for deals with bags that are basically excellent or brand new condition, but that is not true for me. And I think if you are one of those people who are looking for a discount but a bag that is like basically brand new, you're not going to get as good of a discount. So that is something to consider too. You know, there are different levels of pre-loved and different levels then of pre-loved discounts. So for me, I am willing to accept some of these flaws for that deeper discount. Bags are meant to be used, in my opinion, so if they do have a little wear, it kind of makes me more comfortable to use the bag. I'm like, oh, the bag already has a little bit of scratch. If it gets another scratch, like, no big deal. It's a bag. And I have always been team use your bags regardless of what they are. I think that's the whole reason why we buy them, right? Like, and that's why I did a lot of downsizing last year. I'm still continuing to do more downsizing this year. It's just been a little bit on a pause as I've been spending a lot of my free time doing house stuff and or working. I have worked a lot of 3-day weekends or holidays. It's been a very busy year and time does not stop. So for me, bags are meant to be used. A little bit of structure wear, not that big of a deal. Number 3 is hardware scratches. So I know a lot of people talk about not wanting wear on the hardware, not wanting scratches on the hardware. They will, you know, get protection stickers, which nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, like, that's great. That's just not something I super care about because we're going to be touching the hardware and using a bag, and hardware will scratch. Like on this, which is my Palm Spring Mini, well, let's see if I can find a good, like, kind of scratch or somewhere. I mean, there is just some wear to, like, the zipper and the hardware. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to really see it, but there are, like, slight scratches on there. And that's just kind of what happens when you use a bag. Or with my Speedy 30, you will see that there is some oxidation on the lock that is on here on the end. And, like, I'm fine with that. Like, that is just kind of what happens, and bags do wear, and they, you know, that is what it is, and that really doesn't bother me. For some people it does. If it does bother you, you can always have hardware replated. Like, I know I did have that done on my Chanel that I sent to leather surgeons, or you can get the hardware protectors to prevent any more scratches. But just like using a bag, like I think of the lock right on like the pochette Matisse, like that is going to scratch. How you close the bag is with that giant piece of hardware. So something to consider, and it really does just happen. And again, if some of these things are like really big deal breakers for you, you don't have to buy pre-loved. And so I think that's the other thing, is like people think like, oh, well, you know, I can't stand that. It's like, well, then don't buy pre-loved, because you're probably going to have some wear on your bag, unless you do, again, Fashionphile does carry like new or like brand new, like in-box items. Number 4, and that's why I'm still holding this bag, is patina. So I do not mind patina, actually prefer patina on different Louis Vuitton pieces. This is the Damier Azur, which is the white and blue checked canvas. It does look gray, but actually if you get really close up to it, it is navy blue. I prefer this print with the tanned handles. Like, these are like almost the perfect color for me. They're a little dark up top, but I did have basically only this bag and another bag for a long time, and I did have this in law school, and so I really just love this bag and really do not mind the wear on the leather and the patina. For some people, that is a no. They want really light patina, but I actually find here, I do have my little mini Speedy, like, so you guys can see the patina color difference. I really do not like the white. I find this honey color much, much prettier than the white. So I just kind of always let them patina. It does not bother me. And lastly, let me get that bag back up there. Lastly, but not least, is cornerwear. So I think cornerwear is something that is inevitable with bags, especially bags that do not have feet. So even bags with feet, there will get cornerwear because the feet are not on the very edge. So sometimes the edge will hang over a little and get a little bit of wear to it. I don't think that's the end all be all, especially considering you often can't see it when you're just initially looking at the bag or when you set the bag down. It's only really when you inspect the bag do you see the cornerwear. So I think that is something that is not a big deal for me. Again, I do understand for certain individuals that is going to be a deal breaker, but for me, it is a deal maker. If I can get a deal because those corners are a little worn, not a big deal. Also, sometimes the wear is just that the leather is dry, and all it takes is a good leather conditioner, and you can never tell there was any wear to those corners. Additionally, that is something that can easily be touched up by a leather specialist, or, you know, Purse Rehab, Ragu Brothers, leather surgeons. They can easily recolor those corners. So it's really not the end of the world compared to something like a metallic bag completely losing its color, or patent leather bag getting, you know, I mean, I've literally seen newspaper print like rubbed into different patent leather bags because people store their bags stuffed with newspaper. So cornerwear is really not a big deal for me. But those are the 5 deal makers that I'm willing to consider on a pre-loved item. I would love to know down below what you guys will consider when looking pre-loved. Is there something that you're like, oh, other people might not like that, but it doesn't bother me at all? For example, like, I know some people like to add their own bag straps to things. So sometimes when a bag is missing a strap, it is, and you can get good deals when a bag is missing something like that. People just add another strap. You can buy aftermarket straps from so many different places. And you know, some people don't actually like the leather strap or don't like the chain strap. They prefer one or the other. And so you can get a really good deal. So if that's something you're into, please let me know down below. Again, if you don't want to comment down below, feel free to DM me. I love to talk about handbags. And if I don't see your DM, just like comment on my latest Instagram post, because sometimes I do lose them in all the chaos. Or like, I'm so bad at this, guys. I get up in the middle of the night and check both my work phone and my personal phone, and then like just forget to respond to people. So if that happens, you're not harassing me, just message me again and I will gladly respond. But if you want to see more videos like this, more handbag reviews, handbag reveals, handbag comparisons, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video, which is twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. If you want to see how I style all my pieces and my latest pre-loved finds, please make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and my blog, all of which are linked down below. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!